Judd would just rather not interact ever with people.
I'm just staying home from that one.
Declan also would rather not interact with spell check as he puts the Jim Pohlad banner back up here. Mackie and Judd.
Poor Declan.
It's early.
Yeah, you guys are accommodating my travel schedule here today. I appreciate that. It's an unnecessary shot at Declan's spelling.
No, it's completely rational.
So we decided to carve out an extra space in Who Gets It, Who Doesn't today for the owner of the Minnesota Twins, Jim Pohlad. Judd took a screenshot here, took an old school picture of the Charlie Walters weekly insider piece on twincities.com. This is actually from the Pioneer Press, hard copy of the newspaper. All right. Yes. I'm just going to read this. You stop me however you want and as many times as you want. Okay? Now, mind you, this was the most disappointing season relative to everyone's expectations. The team's expectations, the fans' expectations, the media's expectations, all of it, right? And they lost 89 games and were out of it 3 weeks in. The season was just over 3 weeks in. Mm-hmm. And here's what the always inspiring Jim Pohlad has to say about it. Chatting with Jim Pohlad last week, I asked the Twins owner to grade his top 2 baseball operation executives, Derek Falvey and Thad Levine, and manager Rocco Baldelli. So all 3 of them, the triangle of authority of Twins baseball. Quote, I'll grade them all A+, Pohlad said. I'm going to read that again. I'd grade them all A+, Jim Pohlad said.
I'm not even going to stop you there. I'm going to allow you to fire up some more of this fire that Jim Pohlad showed.
For sure. I mean, I'm 100% on that with them. Pohlad emphasized their effort. Derek and Thad, this is a quote, Derek and Thad and their group, they tried things.
What?
Yeah.
What were they like experimenting with things that we should know about? Is that why the bad decisions were made? I mean, is this like an after-school special back in the day?
The quote continues: "Some relievers didn't click in the middle of the season, but they tried."
What does that even mean? What does that even mean?
Shooter's great, dude. Shooter,
I love him.
Shooter laid out these quotes, and then I'm gonna read. So this is Shooter's voice now. The Twins tried. He uses the word tried. The Twins tried 59 players this season. Entering the year, Pohlad had high expectations for the club. Quote from Pohlad: "We expected to compete and wanted to. We're really disappointed we didn't do either of those. So what happened?" Quote: "It was a shocker to everyone. I'm no investigator that I can determine the exact cause. It's just one of those things in baseball where everything possible went wrong on the field. And then we had adversity off the field, civil unrest in downtown Minneapolis, the loss of an assistant coach, Mike Bell. I'm not blaming that or using it as an excuse, but the effect of that, he was beloved by the players. It's a significant loss."
Okay, the civil unrest thing really bothers me because, one, in the course
of 2 years ago.
No, it was in April when the
second round. I got
the cops shot the kid, I think, in Brooklyn Park. But the civil unrest thing to me, okay.
The whole country deals with
and
civil
in the
unrest
course of a
all the
baseball season, that was how long? Like if there was unrest, a week and a half?
Is that why you're losing in like early June and July?
And like if you're gonna go this route, if you're gonna go this route, which Jim won't do, then tell the truth. Say we had a fracture in our clubhouse because our shortstop turned out to be a nut job.
Well, I mean, if that's the case,
bring that up. Don't bring up civil. I mean, we're trying to blame this on these guys were paid millions and are professional athletes. Well, how could they go on? Come on.
So how will the Twins rebuild? Quote from Pohlad: "We're not going to rebuild. That's not a rebuilding thing. We're going to be good next year." And Shooter says, "How?" And Pohlad says, "Well, that's up to Derek and Thad and the staff. I think they feel the need to enhance the team and maybe guard against misfortune." That sounds like a great fortune cookie, little insert, right? You're going to enhance yourself and guard against misfortune.
It's at this point that Jim Pohlad should call up Glenn Taylor across the street and say, "Thank you so much for being incompetent because it's the only thing saving me from getting torn apart in this town."
and Glenn is one of the worst owners in the history of professional sports. Jim Pohlad, it's tough because the Twins would put a bunch, like Terry Ryan was a good enough GM for 10 years to put a bunch of division winners out there, and Derek and Thad got off to a really good start and put a jolt into this franchise, but almost every move they've made over the last year and a half or so has been a failure. Anyways, continuing on.
Yeah, don't stop now.
I think they feel the need to enhance the team and maybe guard against misfortune. So are there going to be major changes? Quote, no, I don't think there's any major changes. I don't know of any. I'm the owner of the team. I don't know.
I don't know what's really going to happen.
What's happening here?
Why?
Nor do I desire any major changes. I think we're a good team. Some things just didn't go our way in any respect. And then Shooter says, sounds like the front office and manager are going to be back. And Pohlad said, definitely. So, I mean, dude, he is. Listen, I'm not saying that there should be like wholesale firings and changes at all. I just like people always rip Jim and the Pohlad family because they don't spend money with the Yankees and the Red Sox, right? Like, why don't they? They're billionaires. Why don't they pull the pennies out of their pocket? Well, first of all, every owner is a billionaire. Most of that money it's not sitting in like a liquid checking account. It's tied up in assets and whatnot. But everyone's a billionaire. So these teams operate within the parameters of how much money they make because there's no salary cap, and the Twins bring in a lot less revenue than those. I've never really ripped them for not spending enough. You could have that debate if you want to. It's his lack of curiosity, his lack of leadership, the fact that he's just like, well, I don't really know. He's just like dead fish owner in terms of like leadership, curiosity, and all those things. Like the Rays don't spend money. Well, they win 95 games every year,
The other thing too is this nonsense about we didn't get fortunate. We had too many guys hurt. We didn't get fortunate. Okay, you had some guys hurt, but guess what happens all around pro sports? People get hurt, and teams still win games. Miguel Sano was a bust. He hit 30 of the most meaningless home runs I've ever seen. Max Kepler is a bust. You hired Derek Falvey in particular to like stock this franchise with pitching, which should be coming out our ears at this point, and it hasn't happened. So don't give me, nothing frustrates me more than, well, there was just some misfortune here. You redid your bullpen and screwed it up beyond belief. But I don't expect Jim to come out and say, Rocco is on the hot seat and Falvey and Levine are next. What I do expect is far more truthfulness about the disappointment of, again, the most disappointing season in this town since the 2010 Vikings. It's not close. There is no team with expectations that has busted like this team did. And for them to be like, well, it's just a lot of misfortune. No, it is a lot of really bad decisions and awful play. And
he's like the shrug emoji come to life.
Did you guys see the Baldelli quote from the weekend? The Baldelli quote from the weekend, among his comments about the disappointment of the season, the one that was really telling to me was something along the lines of, I could have been tougher on the players early on. No kidding. Oh my God, really?
Would that have even, it's great, it's a revelation, but like, I don't think being tough on players does anything in baseball. It's not like a football motivational sport where we need to get a better push on the defensive line.
I think what you're saying is true from like the micro, but I'm talking about the expectations that need to be set by the people that run the team in the macro. Like to go back to it, it might be cliched by now, but what's your mission statement? Like,
we're here to win a World Series.
Exactly.
Well, we're here to win a playoff game.
Baldelli, but I mean, Baldelli's whole thing, and it worked for 2 years, but it's very much live and let live. These guys are pro athletes who are going to do their job. Well, guess what? For the first time, they didn't. And when there's no pushback, there is zero accountability, which there was here. Like there is nobody held accountable. That's a real problem. So I'm not talking about flipping tables and screaming. I'm talking about what's the mission statement of accountability for guys. I mean, Miguel Sano needs to be held accountable every day of his professional career.
Yeah, I think you actually just nailed. Like I 100% agree with the last thing you just said, which is What are you trying to accomplish as a franchise? And if you fall woefully short of what you're trying to accomplish, what's the accountability? There's got to be something, right? You can't set a goal and set a mission. We want to win the World Series. That's what the Yankees say. And if they come up woefully short, the manager gets fired, whether the manager deserves it or not, right? Like, that's what happens. If the Yankees lose, is it tonight or tomorrow? Can't remember when the
Tonight,
AL and
Tuesday
NL
night,
If the Yankees lose tonight,
5 hours.
Aaron Boone probably gets fired. There's like I would say a 50% chance he gets fired.
I agree.
Right? Because their mission is we want to win a World Series. And if we fall woefully short, I'm not saying you should just go firing people because, you should evaluate and whatnot. But what is the Twins' mission? I guess come to the ballpark and have a good time. And if it doesn't work, then the owner's going to give you the shrug emoji. Oh.
Their slogan with Baldelli is Twins baseball. We hope it goes well.
Yeah, that's true. And the owner is the one setting
No, he is.
that mission statement.
This is correct.
Well, we hope that we're better next year.
Yes.
All right.
And we
well,
had a
then
lot
you're
of bad luck.
And you're shocked that you haven't won a playoff game in 18 years. Which, by the way, the fact that has gotten lost because people have just checked out since April. Like, it should be stamped on the freaking front of that stadium until they win one.
Slogan. We can't win a playoff game to save our lives. Twins baseball.
Man. Dex, do we have time for a little random
Yeah.
season recall here? Or do we have
Yeah, a
okay.
little random season recall.
All right. So Declan takes us back. Presented by Federated. Federated here helping business owners not only set your compass, but protect against risks, things that could damage your bottom line. Fire prevention also is a big theme this month at Federated. Find out more at federatedinsurance.com. And remember, at Federated, it's our business to protect yours.
All right. We're talking Twins. Let's go with the 2008 Twins, baby. The 2008 Minnesota Twins finished with how many wins? I'll give you 3 on either side.
Okay, so Judd, this was the first Game 163 season that gets forgotten. They had back-to-back Game 163
This is
season.
the 1-0 loss to the White Sox when Tommy hit the home run. Is that right?
Tommy took Nick Blackburn
Nick
deep
Blackburn's. Yeah. Okay.
in a 1-0
His swan song.
game.
Yeah.
That's right.
Like how you gave us a
It's
point.
going to give us that point.
Oh, I think you should.
That's fine.
No question. You should.
Your show.
But how many games did they win? I don't think they won 90. It's like 88.
You'd
or
have a better
something.
chance at this. You're way better at records than I am. I'm awful at final scores and records.
80 something. It's probably like it's in the 80s. What do we have to get within?
Within 3.
3.
I'll give you within 3.
So you get some
Little
leeway
cushion.
here.
I would say
That's a little
if we
bit.
say 87, I think we're pretty safe. So,
Okay.
87?
87.
Oh, that'd be helpful if this was on. Technically 88 wins, but yeah.
There it is.
88
Well,
and
one
75.
off. One off.
88
Bravo.
and 75.
It's pretty good.
Not bad at all. Who started at DH on opening day 2008 for the Minnesota Twins?
Okay. So, Judd, this was a weird year. This might have been like the Joe Creedy or was that 09? This is like the 08-09 was like Creedy at
Was this the Creedy
third.
era?
Then they had Rondell White in the mix as a DH and a corner outfielder.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
DH. This is before Jim Thome because he was with the White Sox, obviously.
Yep.
Morneau would have been the first baseman, but then didn't he get hurt down the stretch too?
He actually played this full season. He didn't get hurt.
Did
He
he?
played in
Okay.
163. This was one of the rare times he didn't get
09 was the one that he didn't play.
Rondell
Mauer,
White. That's an
Morneau.
interesting one. Because Creedy lasted till like June, but he was at third base. So
I'm trying to think, was Bartlett? When did they trade Bartlett? They traded. That was going into the 08 season, wasn't it?
when they traded, did they trade?
I'm
Bartlett
just trying to think of like their whole lineup.
Garza for Delman.
Delman. The 08 was the first Delman year. Yeah. And
Okay.
Brendan Harris. So Delman, Brent. Let's go with Rondell White.
Rondell White. He was a free agent ad before the season.
So he played in the outfield. Okay, so we're sniffing around here.
Like a free agent.
Oh,
Sorry. Go ahead.
was it Brian Busher, Judd?
Oh,
They had some
sweet.
random ass
Oh my!
dudes on that
If
team.
that's right, that's what a pull.
Brian Busher.
Great poll, though.
That's a fantastic poll. I'd forgotten about Brian Busher.
He played quite a bit on that.
When did they get the guy who had been with the Brewers for a long time, and I think he played some for Seattle with a weird batting stance?
Jeff Cirillo.
When was he? But I mean,
he was in that mix.
I might be misplacing the year on that one.
God, this was a random. Mike Lamb was in there somewhere, but that might have been. I think. Wait, this might have been the Mike Lamb year, and then was 09 the Joe Creedy year? But that was those guys would have played in the field. God dang it.
He was a pretty prominent player in the division before coming to the Twins.
So White Sox, Tigers, Royals? With the Royals, maybe?
Prominent player in the division.
Hit 101 home runs for a division rival. And 6 seasons with that team.
Well, Creedy hit a bunch of homers. I just don't know if he was DHing or playing third. Should we just go Creedy?
Sure.
All right, Joe Creedy. All right, we lost.
Craig Monroe.
With Detroit.
I knew it.
With Detroit.
Yeah.
Okay, because Rondo White and Craig Monroe were both corner outfielders for Detroit.
I was
You
putting you on
knew
the
it.
track.
God dang it.
Yeah. Oof. Who started the most games at third base that season for the Twins?
So if that's the Creedy year, it wouldn't be Creedy because he didn't did he even last the year?
It's either a Creedy or a Mike Lamb situation, but I will say that Nick Punto had good years on the evens. So Nick Punto had 06, and then 07 he was bad. 08 he was good again.
Okay.
But it's very possible Nick Punto played more shortstop because Jason Bartlett had been traded.
Okay.
So, Punto was an everyday player for the Twins still in 08. And wasn't Luis Castillo still there, too? I'm pretty sure at second base. Just trying to think of who else would have been playing shortstop. Brendan Harris, I guess, would have played some games.
When was Alexi Casilla around? But because he was
right
playing
around there.
But he's second base, right? He played second. But yes, he played second.
My guess is they probably had 5 guys play a bunch of third base, and it's one guy played 50 games, another guy played.
Brendan
40.
Harris did play third base.
Mm-hmm. He did. This is a Carlos Gomez year too. Nick Punto. I think 08 was the Mike Lamb year. You know what?
Mike Lamb.
Let's go Mike Lamb.
I'm cool with that.
Mike Lamb played the second most amount of games at third base that year.
This is such a trap.
Do you want to throw in Punto?
All right, Punto.
I mean, Punto did play.
Punto was the guy where, all right, this person's our starter, and then he fails, and then Punto just comes in.
And he was such a guardy guy.
Yeah.
Said his name earlier.
Cirillo? Oh.
No.
Brian Busher.
Oh.
Brian Busher, dude.
Oh my God! Did he really start the most?
He did start a lot of games. If
it's not going to compromise the segment, was this the Creedy year or the Lamb year?
It was Lamb, and Creedy didn't come till 09.
Okay, that's what. Okay.
Brian Busher in the month of June that year for the Twins in 08 hit 360 /370 440 and was unbelievable in the month of June.
Yeah.
Brian Busher. Just he was completely out of left field.
Ploof before Ploof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was the year when the Twins signed Mike Lamb in the offseason.
Yes.
I remember going on. I hosted a weekly Twin show on KFan at the time, and I went on there and just destroyed the front office for they don't look at analytics, they're not what this guy. And I got a note from someone in the Twins front office who I'd never communicated with before, high up, just saying, hey, that's not really fair. I felt like your criticism was overly harsh, and we actually talked on the phone for 30 minutes. But I'll never forget his explanation was, we look at analytics all the time. You can't rip us for not looking at analytics. I'm like, well, what were you looking at? And he said, well, we were looking at the home road splits and batting averages, and I'm like, that's not analytics.
We bought
a fight about it.
We bought his baseball card at the baseball card shop, and let me tell you right now, the back of that baseball card, super impressive.
Yeah.
Other teams are hiring people from MIT, and you guys are looking at the back of the baseball card. Then they brought in some people to work with the analytics a couple years later. But
All right, one more quick one here before I get Patrick Royce hooking me off. Which starting pitcher led the team in ERA in 2008 for the Twins?
Okay, so 08 was the year that Scott Baker almost threw a perfect game.
Yes, against the Royals.
Liriano would have come back at some point, but Liriano wasn't himself again until 2010. Matt Garza was not that good.
Wait, but is this if this is the Delman? If Delman was here by then, Garza was in Tampa by then.
Yep, you're right. Yep. So, and you said starting pitcher?
Starting pitcher.
So Scott Baker is definitely the leader in the clubhouse. They did acquire Carl Pavano at some point here. Maybe that was 09.
I like the Scott Baker.
But he wasn't the good. So Scott Baker.
Scott Baker, yes. That's a
Scotty
good one.
B.
There it is, man.
Yeah, he was. You know
was
what?
underrated
he was not
pitcher.
bad.
Very
He was
good.
not a bad
Underrated. Underrated. I shouldn't say very good.
I feel
Underrated
like
pitcher.
we
He wasn't a
mentioned
joke.
the fact that we've mentioned Brian Busher at some point here is like worth a point. On
Hey.
its own,
Oh well.
right?
This is.
I feel like
my segment.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
this was an incredibly tough one, though. Like you're asking about third base in particular. It's
I
not
thought
like
this team-
who led the team in home
Yeah.
runs. I mean,
what's random season
but
recall?
this used to be like a feel-good segment. Where,
Well, yeah. Then we started
where we could pad
dominating,
our
and now
stats.
Declan has
Yeah.
to dig deeper.
And now it's
Declan's
like-
counter-adjusting.
and now it's
to-
like,
Yeah.
what was the exact attendance for the 2008 Twins?
I-
And where did they rank in
within
MLB?
5 people.
Within 5 people.
Where did they rank in MLB? And what was their gate receipts for the month of June?
So there it is, random season recall here on Mackey and Judd. Daily Minnesota Sports Entertainment. We just want titles, so thank you to the Wolves in the Wild for impressing us and keeping our attention during preseason games. You're all we have, really. Alex Boone is going to be with you guys on Purple Daily today. Realistic Randy on Purple After Dark tonight. So we got you guys covered here. Whether it's therapy or entertainment you seek, we are here for you. Thanks for hanging out. Mackey and Judd.